guys, welcome to the Knitted Farmhouse. My name is Karen, and today we are going to be making banana bread. Now, when I first got the idea to start a YouTube channel, it was not going to be a cooking channel, but I thought that this would give me a good opportunity to practice making videos, and since I'm making banana bread anyway, I thought I would bring you along. So, welcome. I am using a very old recipe. I have been making this for probably 15 or so years. In fact, look at my cookbook. It's a mess. It's been through a lot. This is the Whole Earth Cookbook. I'm sure it's out of print now, but there's a picture on the back I have to show you. From 1971. Can you see that? They're a bunch of earthy looking young people sitting around a table having a whole earth feast. Anyway, this is a great recipe. It's sweetened only with honey and uses whole wheat flour, and the kids always loved it, so they grew up eating this and they always get excited when I make it. So I am going to change the camera so that you can see what's actually going into the bowl, and I'll be back. Okay, the first ingredient is oil. We're going to add a half a cup of oil of your choice. I believe this is sunflower oil. I have used all kinds in the past. And then a third of a cup of honey. This is the only sweetener that goes in this banana bread. Forgot my spatula. 1 second. This will work. Normally I use the same measuring cup for the oil as I do the honey because it helps the honey to slide out better when the oil's gone in first. Now we are going to cream those two together. So we'll put those in the mixer. If you don't have a mixer, you can use a hand mixer or probably an immersion blender, or just a whisk if that's all you have. It works great, but I'm letting the stand mixer do the work for me today. That is done, we are going to add the bananas. I have an entire bunch of very ripe bananas. It calls for 3 medium bananas. These are kind of small, so I'm going to use at least 4 of these. And they're so soft, I'm just gonna throw the whole banana in. If these weren't quite so soft, I might break them up, but these are really on the verge of being too ripe. And we will compost these peels because everything we have either goes in the garden or to the chickens. So put in 4 somewhat small bananas. We'll mix those up. We're going to add the vanilla. We have 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I don't usually measure this, but for the sake of video, I will. And then 2 eggs, we will throw those in. For some reason I prepared 4 eggs. Thinking of a different recipe, I guess. The eggshells will go into the oven with the banana bread so that they will get cooked and then fed back to the chickens for the calcium. Let's mix those in. And that's all of our liquid ingredients. The rest are all dry. So it calls for 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour. I'm using whole wheat soft pastry wheat. Pastry wheat is recommended for your baked goods, not your breads, but your quick breads. Anything that's not made with yeast. Pastry wheat is good for. It's a soft spring wheat, and a lot of times I have ground it myself, but I don't have any spring wheat in my cupboard, so I'm using prepared pastry wheat. This is Bob's Red Mill brand. And then a 1/2 cup of wheat germ, which just adds a real nutty flavor to the bread. And I think back in the 70s, whenever they made a recipe, they always put wheat germ in it. I think that was just expected. It made everything kind of nutty. You need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Half a teaspoon of salt. A 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And we will mix that up together before we add the nuts. I read once that once you have put in your baking powder, you want to mix it very minimally because it's going to start working right away, and you would rather it work in the oven than in your mixing bowl. So I'm just mixing it enough to get it good and mixed together, and then I'm scraping down the sides of the bowl to get the rest. Okay. Now I'm just gonna add the nuts. It calls for a 1/2 cup of chopped nuts, but I add a lot of nuts because we like them. So I've got walnuts here. That's probably a 1/2 cup on its own. And then I'm adding a little bit of raw pumpkin seeds, maybe a 1/4 cup, and maybe another 1/4 cup of raw sunflower seeds. And that is it. We'll give this a quick mix. And we will put this in a, oops. I greased this bread pan. So we're gonna put this in here and pop it in the oven. Get this in the oven and I'll show you how it turned out. Oh, 350 for about an hour and 10 minutes. I'll let you know after it's done how long it took. The bread is just out of the oven. It took 60 minutes at a 350-degree oven, and I will let it rest on this cooling rack for about 15 minutes and then remove it from the pan. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll leave the recipe in the description box below, and have a good day. Bye-bye.